We now return to Etc. 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 And here's your host, Nicole Jacinto.
Welcome back, folks. It's still Wednesday afternoon. I'm still Nicole Jacinto, and I'm still here on Etc. 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 with John and Ino, and we're still talking about Spyglass and their services. Okay, so earlier we talked about how valuable it is in terms of real estate and how much you can save when you need to rent a helicopter for something. But I had a question for you. Do you know where the technology began? I have a theory that it's probably some kind of like military technology or some CIA thing in order to be able to take pictures of or you're not allowed, or if you tell me you have to kill me.
No, not really. I think it's better if Inu would answer
Okay.
that. He's been around the hobby longer than I have.
Yeah.
Actually, the technology is not new. It's been around, as I said earlier. It's just that nobody has thought of using that for aerial photography. And for business, of course.
And for business,
purposes.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys actually thought of that and came up with. How did you come up with this idea, and how did you get into it?
Well, we were sitting at the side of the field, our flying field, one day. I think one of us just crashed or something. I'm not sure, because we were thinking, instead of spending so much on this hobby, and obviously we're having a great time flying helicopters. Why don't we open a business, put up a business that would enable us to capitalize on the hobby.
Yeah, to augment our budget.
To augment the budget, to make the hobby sort of like self-sustaining.
That's great to hear, because the hobby is self-sustaining. It obviously makes you happy. Now you have a business, and we are more exposed to it than you realize. For example, can your helicopter take, let's say, the situation now with the floods in Bulacan, can it take shots of that, the news? Is that something is that possible?
Yes.
It is.
How far can your helicopters fly? Let's say right now here in the booth in Makati, or in Makati Avenue, can you control your helicopter up to what point, what distance can you control?
Like right now, I think I can see outside the window the condo right behind the A Venue Mall.
Yes.
Probably the top of the condo.
Oh, the top of the condo. Okay.
From here.
Okay. So you have to be near the site when you actually do these.
You have to have a line of vision with the helicopter.
Okay. Because you need to see where your helicopter is going and be able to
But
maneuver.
the
Yes,
control
but-
itself can go to a range of up to almost a kilometer.
A kilometer.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But the technology is developing pretty fast, because there are pilot aids available now that would enable us to fly farther.
Okay.
And I think one example would be like the one that you've installed, the Helicommand.
Yeah.
When it'll aid the pilot. If something goes wrong, the wind gets too gusty, and all the pilot needs to do is let go of the sticks, and the helicopter will level off.
Will level off and fly
And
itself.
you can even input global positioning system waypoints, wherein if something goes wrong, the helicopter goes back to a certain area.
Okay.
Pre-programmed area.
Pre-programmed
You
area.
just let go of the control, and the helicopter would hover or fly by itself.
Okay, so it's like sort of automatic pilot in a way, but
Yes, that's it.
you can pre-program it. Can it fly into a storm?
I don't think so. I mean, it would be
No.
advisable.
Because you're taking pictures actually. So
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, even a real size helicopter
Cannot fly
wouldn't
into a
be
storm.
Into a storm.
Okay. What other? Okay, so you're talking about movies and commercials. So, actually, we're more. I keep saying this. We're more exposed to it than we realize. When we see commercials and all these aerial shots, those are also that can be done by your helicopters. Okay.
Yes.
So I hope there are people out there in advertising companies listening, so that they
We
can.
hope so too.
Yeah, so that they can,
Yeah.
get you guys to take. It's cheaper for them.
It's cheaper and
safer.
not only cheaper, but it'll offer the client a bigger array of possibilities. You can shoot closer, more detailed images. You're more maneuverable compared to, let's say, if you were riding a big helicopter, you wouldn't, like fly around in a small parking lot.
Yes.
To take an aerial shot of let's say a car. If you want to take an aerial shot of a car up close and then pull out real high, you won't be able to do that in a real helicopter.
And as you were saying earlier, they also now have some constraints or restrictions that they've imposed in terms of flying real helicopters to, not real, but bigger helicopters, a
Yes.
traditional size helicopter
True.
below 500 feet, as you were saying. Okay.
Yeah. Imposed by the air traffic office.
Mm-hmm.
Civil aviation.
Civil aviation.
Authority.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now, how do you feel about that? Just, do you think that that's for safety reasons? Do you think it's very...
Oh, definitely.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
well, the two of us have been exposed to a certain event wherein there was a low-flying,
Mhm.
full-size helicopter. It was pretty scary.
It was pretty scary,
Yeah, it makes you realize that, well, thank God for the rules. I mean,
Yeah.
they're in place there to keep you safe.
Thank God for the rules, and at least with this product, you can get that feel and the visuals that you need without risking your safety, and at a much cheaper, lower price.
Yes, correct. That's
Can I
it.
ask you first before we continue further, like how do people get in touch with you if they want to avail of your services or your product, Ino?
They can email us at info
Mm-hmm.
at spyglass.com.ph.
info@spyglass.com.ph. Okay.
Or they can call
Mm-hmm.
my partner's number.
They can call John.
So I get to be a call handler now. Yeah, my number is 0920
0920
951
951
9652.
9652. Okay. I have this question. Before we go into another short break, how many when you're doing this sort of thing or you're performing a service, you have a client, how many people does it take to do it? Like the cameraman, the director, and then is that all?
No,
Or-
it's the pilot,
Mhm.
the camera operator, and one spotter. So
Okay.
it takes a flight team of
least
three
three.
people.
3 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, it's so interesting because you still use a flight team of 3 people, and yet that's probably still so you're actually doing you're doing people a service in the sense that you're employing 3 people to do these jobs, and at the same time it's still a lot less riskier, and it's a lot less expensive all around to do things that we would normally have to do in order to conduct business for commercial properties, even for let's say housing. You want to build a house somewhere, or has anyone ever availed of your services to just kind of sweep through, let's say, a whole tract of land to see if there's anything there that they would be interested in using?
Not as of the moment, because right now we've been concentrating on our what directors would call a reel.
A real, okay.
Yeah, and then we've been up for like less than a month or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the experience is there. Our pilot is one of the best, and here owns designs the helicopters. The company that makes
Fantastic,
helicopters.
fantastic.
Yeah, because these are actually purpose-built remote controlled helicopter. They are not the ones that you see in the malls.
the malls.
Yeah, no, not the
No,
ones you see in the
Those
malls.
are what we call hobby grade.
Hobby grade,
Yeah.
okay.
What he makes are industrial grade helicopters.
Industrial
Yeah.
grade helicopters, and you, as John said, you design it and you own the company that makes it, designs it, and you yourself said
Yeah.
they're purpose-built
For this
for this type of
functions.
Okay, I'm gonna look around and ask around and recommend you guys to.
Cool. Thank you.
I don't know how far that recommendation will go, but I really hope it doesn't. And this is a good thing. I think I'm so glad that born out of a hobby that makes you happy, we have something here that can really service our needs. And aside from the commercial needs, I mean, I think that film is important, art is important, and we can probably start having people who will use your services and your product to get the better shots and have better quality films.
True. It's basically art and science blended so well together. The art of the camera shots and the science and technology of the whole camera rig and the helicopter.
And then you see these happy guys behind the scenes doing all this. So that's
Well,
good.
We go out and fly for fun anyway. Might as well go out and fly for a couple of bucks.
Yeah, why not? Okay, it's time for another short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned to etc. right here on DZRJ 810 AM, the voice of the Philippines.